Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit, licensed clinical social worker with Terrible and Home Care. Very glad you are joining us. And you know, for me as a social worker, I get calls all the time about helping people. Well, I can tell you the two guys to my left do that all the time. Lawrence Dehart, Spud McDonald, both with the Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And one of our growing issues, and I don't know that people realize it, is that we've got a real increasing issue with homelessness in our area. And thankfully, Lawrence, you've looked at that problem and you've been able to kind of think about what to do about it.
We've seen since Hurricane Ida a tremendous increase in the homeless because many homeless are originally stayed in houses of shanties and the such, and they're gone because they were destroyed.
Right.
We've seen the homeless population more than double because of the cost, and also they migrate less. It used to be that a homeless person never went more than 2 miles from where they would stay to come get assistance, and so they've kind of been spread out based upon availability.
Okay.
So we now work with two other groups. One of them is called Hope Extreme. The other one is Hope Restored. And they each do something different, but we're now providing the food and resources so they can go to them and they can make things more available. The homeless is a lot more widespread here than again most people think, and just because you're not looking for it, you don't see it, but it's there. And a lot of time, it's not that these are bad people or incapable. Sometimes it's a lack of medication. We have a tremendous lack of mental health
Mental
care
health
here.
services. Yes.
It's almost a sin, and I know I'm talking to the choir here.
You are.
If we could just get more mental health facilities here and do that. But when we work with them in the past, we've been able to provide, before Ida, long-term housing and even educational opportunities through Fletcher that have had tremendous success. But, you know, we got people paying 2 and 3 times for rent right now, and the housing is a shortages. We don't have much of those capabilities. Bobby O'Brien's bunkhouse has done a tremendous job, but he's got limited facilities.
Right.
We've lost our women's facility that it's called Beautiful Beginnings.
Right.
They're
Damage
still
from the
trying to
storm.
get it going, and we even when somebody comes in, we help them not only with food, but Terrebonne Parish Transportation has made a deal with us for bus passes, and we can now get them to move where they can get help. We're working with local hospitals to see if we can help with the mental health situation. But you get to know these guys, and they come in, and you know when they're on medications, they're fine. They almost don't need to come in. But then when they are not on their meds, you see that, and they don't get while they have to. But we also have, even right next to the food bank, in close proximity, we have people whose houses are damaged and they're staying with them because they have no place to go.
Right.
And the houses are not livable and they shouldn't be there.
And one of the things that we see as another increasing aspect of that population is people that are really homeless. They own a home, but it's gutted, but they're living in a tent inside of that home, which is interesting. One of the facts that you brought up to me, how much weaker that home is, about a third weaker.
Yes.
If it's just studs, not spuds, but studs.
My house is solid.
There you go.
No, it ain't. I had to fight forever just to get a new roof.
Just to get a new roof.
It is like that. I have friends of mine who live in Thibodaux and Chack Bay,
Right.
who got hammered big time,
Right.
in other storms. And when they rebuilt their houses, they didn't put drywall on the inside. They put 3/4 inch sheeting plywood on the outside and 5/8 on the inside, and then covered that with drywall. And then they've got the every rafter they have the hurricane clips. So those houses are really standing up. And it's like a lot of people are putting in a lot of effort to rebuild their houses, but are they rebuilding that house stronger, or are you going to be in the same boat the next time a Cat 3 or 4 shows up?
The same situation. So that's where people who are living in trailers, some of the 10,000 plus people in trailers, that's where you need to go. Find somebody's house that, be friends with them.
Yeah.
Find a way, make a friend, right? And stay with some people that have a strong house. Go ahead.
But what you were saying, well, we have, because of the projects we're working with engineers and architects, and one of the architects was telling me, when you got a house that's got down to the studs, and so, well, it's just a room or two, then I'm in a situation where that house is nowhere near as strong. It's like, well, it made Hurricane Ida. I just had some water damage. Well, when you're gutting the house, it needs that insulation. It needs that wall coverings. It needs the flooring. And when you take out all those things, and yet, oh, I think I'll stay. It made Ida. It isn't the same house that you stayed in Ida. and that's a problem.
Right. And again, I bring that up because there are people that are technically homeless living in tents inside of their own home because
Oh, yes.
it's not livable. And those are the people that are going to need help. Those are the ones that Spud made a great comment in a previous show about if you're told to leave, leave and make a plan now. And the food bank can help only to the point where the resources run out, and we're struggling to be able to provide those resources. And it's nice to know that y'all are at least helping with some of those people who are homeless and get them connected. So let's talk about those two agencies again: Hope
Extreme and Hope Restored.
Hope Restored. And those are two programs that you've partnered with. It's one of the things that I'm so very proud of our food bank for doing, because you find a way to partner with some of these people.
Right. They can do things that we can't or don't do. They both specialize in just dealing with the homeless. And it's just like we're just a food bank. If you do too many things, you end up being, a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Right.
They are masters at it. So we're providing them with the resources to help them, just like we working with the Haven. If you're a battered woman or if you feel like you're in need, you pick up the phone, you call the Haven. They will help you. We help give resources to them to better help you. And that's how we partner with organizations.
Well, y'all are doing the right thing. We appreciate being able to partner with you to get the message out, to be able to do a shout out, if you will, that we still need help and that you guys are providing everything that you can for so many people. Spud, I appreciate it very much. Lawrence, I appreciate it very much. Thank y'all for doing as much as you can with very little. It's very much appreciated.
Thank Carolyn. My new wife allows me to do this.
Yeah,
So.
thank her. What a blessing. All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more when we continue here on HTV.